In this video, I'm going to talk to you about stonewalling and the silent treatment. So what the narcissist will do is they will do their best to evoke a reaction in you, and then they will make sure that if you challenge them on that, on what they've said, they will make sure that you look like the one who is unreasonable. So you might look like the one who likes an argument, who's a drama queen, or who is just like overreacting, and trying to make something of something innocent that they've done. Say you have somebody called Mark, who's the narcissist, and his partner is called Claire, and Mark says to Claire, you just did an hour of exercise and it's all been wasted because you just put sugar in your tea. And Claire might say to Mark, you're being insensitive and it's hurtful that you always do this, you know. And Mark might say to Claire, oh, you're so oversensitive. What do you mean? I'm just trying to help you, you know. And that would be gaslighting, because he is telling her that her feelings mean that there's something wrong with her, that she can't trust her feelings about him. And then Mark might then choose to withdraw from the conversation and say, oh, I've had enough. I'm not going to discuss this anymore. And then he might leave the room. And then Claire is left feeling frustrated because she feels like she still hasn't been heard. And, what she says doesn't matter to Mark. So narcissists are, the way that they can stonewall someone is they can be dismissive. They can gaslight you. They can invalidate the things that you say. They can change the subject, or they can physically leave. And in the short term, it can make a victim anxious, and in the long term, it can cause depression. It can also cause self-doubt, because they will question themselves, like, why is he not wanting to talk to me? What have I done wrong? Is this me? Am I overreacting? Am I trying to make a drama here? And it can be really confusing if you're questioning yourself. Another thing that a narcissist will do is use the silent treatment. That will often go hand in hand with stonewalling. So the silent treatment is where they will ignore you until they feel like you've made enough effort to be back in their favour. That if you're around other people, they'll often really acknowledge all the people around you. They might give them all extra attention to make you feel even more ignored. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to moderate your own behaviour in order to please them and to question yourself, because both of those things give them a sense of power and it makes them feel in control. When the two things are combined, what can happen is the victim can end up being more demanding than they would normally be, because they want a conclusion. They want some kind of closure on the issue that was bothering them in the first place. So they might call the narcissist, for example, and he might not pick up the phone. They might text, he might not reply, and then they might sort of call a lot more than they would normally, because they feel so much frustration and hurt, the whole idea as well behind both tactics is to very suddenly take all interest and affection away, so that you're left with, it feels like the rug has suddenly been pulled from under your feet, and you're left feeling sort of insecure and unloved, basically, and undeserving of the affection of the narcissist. So why does a narcissist do this? The reason they do it is because they are at risk of having to see themselves for who they are and having to show you who they really are whenever you hold them accountable for anything they've done. That's why they need to use diversion tactics. They need to put all the focus on you and focus on your response, so that you're the one who looks like you have the problem, you know. And if they don't do that, if they were to have a normal, mature, adult conversation with you and acknowledge how you feel and care about it, then what they'd have to do is they'd have to see that they're not a superior person to you. And they'd have to face up to who they really are. They'd have to face up to the fact that they're just not a very empathic person and they don't really care. And otherwise they wouldn't have said the thing in the first place, you know. And facing up to the kind of person they are would mean that they don't feel superior, and that means that they'd have to face the emptiness they feel inside and all the self-judgment they have, you know, the self-hatred that they feel toward, you know, inside. So that's why, you know, they will always respond like that if they're ever at risk of being unmasked, you know, not just to you, but also to themselves. So if you ever find that a narcissist is stonewalling you or giving you the silent treatment, the key thing is to remember that this is not about you. This is a manipulation tactic that they are using, and they want a specific response from you. So if you run after them, if you keep trying to explain something as you feel yourself getting more and more frustrated, you know, or if you change the subject because you feel like otherwise they're not going to talk to you, you know, all of these things, if you do any of those things, you're playing into their hands, you know. The thing they really want is for you to doubt yourself. So, you know, and your behavior is the only thing that you can control. So as long as your behavior is reasonable and respectful, you know, there's nothing to doubt yourself for, because how can you possibly have done anything wrong? What they're doing is they're showing you what they're not capable of. They're not capable of taking any responsibility. And then it's going to be up to you to work out how you're going to manage that once you've accepted that they will not take responsibility for the way they behave towards you. So, I mean, this is something that we can talk about in future videos. You know, how do you respond to a narcissist? But I think the key thing is that you recognize them for who they are, and and that you recognize their tactics as intentionally trying to manipulate you. And this isn't your problem. If you're getting upset and emotional and wanting the good feeling back again, you know, wanting to be in their good books again, you know, any of that, it's just playing into exactly what they want from you, and you're telling yourself that this is your problem when really it isn't your problem, it's their problem. So I hope that was helpful. Please ask me any questions in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer them. Please subscribe and let me know if there are any videos that you really want to watch about narcissism, you know, anything that you want me to talk about and just explore further.